Okay, kids, so we're here for the very long cleanup episode where we will be getting a whole bunch of all the Riddler shit. Basically, we gotta get these Chronicles of Arkham. There's a couple riddles we have to solve. There's many trophies we have to get. Now that we have all of the gadgets and basically the whole game is completed, all we've got to go do is fuck up Joker. We can hear the fireworks going off in the background while we're in this area still. So basically, I'll use this time to just talk about, like, normally during, like, the end credits of the game, I'll talk about, like, what's coming up next on the channel and stuff, and I'll probably use this time right here to do this, because there actually is quite a few more things to do here than I thought there was going to be. There's quite a few trophies that I kind of just ran by going through the main story. It wasn't really that big of a deal, because I always knew I was going to do this anyway, where I would just, you know, collect everything right before the final boss. Now, eventually, I'm going to be going through all the other Arkham games on this channel. Maybe rather soon, actually. And in all of them, you know, you got to get all this Riddler bullshit. And it's always best to save a lot of that until, you know, just before the final boss or until you reach the end, because it's not till the end of the game that you even are able to get all of them with some of the more annoying gadgets like the Ultra Bat Claw. We only just got that, and there's quite a few Riddler bullshits that you actually have to use the Ultra Bat Claw to get. Now, I know I'm going to be recording Arkham Knight, but I don't know when I will be recording, like, Arkham City. There's Arkham Origins, and then there's also Arkham Origins Blackgate. I've been on a really big Batman kick lately, like a crazy amount. Like, I've been watching the animated series lately. I've watched the Dark Knight movies. I even checked out some of the terrible, what was that, the 90s and 80s Batman movie foursome. The Michael Keaton Batman, the Val Kilmer Batman, the George Clooney Batman. Those terrible Batmans. I watched a couple of those. I've just been real heavy on the Batman right now, so while I'm so into them, I might as well knock out a couple Batman games, since you would be surprised that there's actually a couple good Batman games besides just, like, you know, the Arkham series. There's some interesting ones out there. But before I think I would even do any other Batman games, I do want to finish a lot of the games I've got going on the channel right now. You know, things such as I gotta finish Final Fantasy Type 0 still, Bloodborne, Shining Force 2 Battle Royale, Resident Evil 3, and Devil May Cry 2. Once I complete those, I'm probably gonna take out a couple of games that have been requested a lot. Like, I think I'm gonna jump right into Kingdom Hearts 2 probably pretty soon, but like I said, I want to get a lot of these games knocked out that I've already started. Arkham Knight, definitely. So I probably am going to tentatively say I'm going to do Kingdom Hearts 2 at the beginning of September. Probably would be a good time. But then again, it'll probably take me a while to complete Final Fantasy Type 0, so we'll see. A couple of the other games won't really take that long, such as Devil May Cry 2. RE3, that's going to be done very, very soon here. We're right at the end of the game for that. In the future, though, I'm probably not going to, like, Resident Evil games are going to continue at the same time. I'll probably be doing the remake that they released on the PSN. Yeah, I think so. Some other games that I've seen people recommend they want to see me go through. Legend of Dragoon. I am gonna start doing some research on that. Because that game I've only beaten once, and it was really fucking good. And I am looking for an excuse to play it again, and a couple different people have asked for it, so I'm going to knock that out. I've heard Final Fantasy VIII a couple times, so I'll, like, probably get that started maybe pretty soon. When I did the reaction to the Final Fantasy VII Remake announcement, I did say that I was going to do Final Fantasy VII soon, so... Like, these are just a lot of things that I'm thinking about doing after I get rid of, like, I finish the chunk of games that I'm doing now.
Brought in the woman. Her skin,
yeah, these Spirits of Arkham, it's, you know, you find a lot of them, and they don't really, like, make a lot of sense until you hear the last couple of those Chronicles of Arkham, and then... If you go back and listen to a lot of the earlier ones, it'll start... It's kind of, you know, like puzzle. The pieces of a puzzle begin to fall into place after that. And we can see just how, like, a few gadgets basically hide a majority of the Riddler stuff. The cryptographic sequencer here, the Ultra Bat Claw, and the Line Launcher. Those pretty much hide, I would probably say... 65 to 70% of the Riddler challenges in this game. I'm trying to think of some other things people... a couple people have asked for the second season of The Walking Dead. That's something I probably could knock out pretty effortlessly, so I might be doing that soon, actually. Because that Walking Dead Season 1 and the DLC were, like, they are powerful games, so that's definitely something I'm going to check out. And a lot of these Riddler trophies are in kind of really innocuous places, like, you just open up this vent and, oh, there's just a trophy there, like, it really does make you think, like, obviously Riddler had a ton of help hiding this shit around. But, like, look exactly how many there are, like...
Are you up to the
Riddler...
challenge?
Yeah, we've also gotten to the point now where Riddler, he begins to start talking shit because he's realizing, like, oh, fuck. I am challenging Batman, who is literally the world's greatest detective. This may not be the greatest of ideas. Now Batman is totally shitting on all of my riddles. And here we have a hidden cell. This is from the first area in the game here, but obviously at that point you don't have the explosive gel, so you can't come in here anyway. And Arkham Asylum in particular makes a lot of references to some very, very minor Batman villains, none of which make an appearance in any of the Arkham games. I mean, we'll see what happens in Arkham Knight, but... Like, you know, a lot of these dudes like Zeus and the Ratcatcher and Killer Moth, like, they don't show up at all. And yeah, we could see that at this point we still have, you know, what, 56 still to go, it was? Just pulling out the cryptographic sequencer. There you go, B-Man. Yeah, get Harley Quinn. Yeah, another game that probably will be completed pretty soon here is Bloodborne. We're right at the end of that. See, like, a lot of these games, I'm actually just right at the end of, and I just gotta do, like, only a couple levels in each of them. Shining Force 2 Battle Royale might actually take a little bit longer because some of these battles have begun to get real messy. And, you know, I gotta make sure I'm building up money so I can have plenty of supplies and stuff. It is pretty fun. Obviously, in the future, I'm gonna continue recording Shining Force games because I want to record Shining Force 3. That's one of the games I want to record most on the channel. And at this point, I've recorded, what, a little more than half of that style of Shining Force game. Although I have mentioned that there is, this other Shining Force game I have that's kind of different. It's more of like a, I guess you'd almost kind of like an easy, maybe kind of like Bloodborne-ish style of combat, but it's not like awesome like Bloodborne is and the Dark Souls series are. But right here, so with that Chronicle of Arkham, we now have all of the upgrades. So Batman has reached his full potential here, and he's now at his ultimate ass-kicking phase here. And see, like, yeah, this trophy, this is just right inside the main entrance of the mansion. Obviously, I could have picked this up on our first visit, but oh well, it doesn't matter.
Can you defeat a mind
Hey,
such as
Commissioner
mine?
Gordon! Yeah, so see, like, Riddler, he just starts randomly talking shit. Which is odd, because at this point, it's like, Riddler, you realize that we've solved, like, 70% of your riddles, right? I guess that's a small complaint I have with the Arkham series in general, too, is just how different Gordon looks in every single damn Arkham game. Like, compare what he looks like in Arkham Origins to Arkham Asylum here to what he looks like in Arkham Knight. Poison Ivy looks a lot different than she does in Arkham Asylum and Arkham... Oh, wait, she's not in Arkham City, is she? No, I don't remember Poison Ivy being in Arkham City. I know she's in Arkham Knight, though. And yeah, we got an interview tape with the Scarecrow. Now, I'm very curious to see exactly what they do with Scarecrow in Arkham Knight, because Scarecrow's a villain who I feel like he's got a lot of potential, but he's never really been that good. Like, even that awesome Batman animated series, like, I'm trying to think, like, I just... earlier today, I was trying to think, like, what was Scarecrow like in that show, and I just couldn't fucking remember at all. I was like, I do not remember a single episode that Scarecrow is in. It's just completely out of my head. I don't understand. And then you think about back to the Dark Knight trilogy, where Scarecrow was, like, the biggest bitch in the world. In Batman Begins, he literally... like, the last time you see him in the movie, he's screaming like a little girl, like, oh, oh, as he's, you know, he got tased by Katie Holmes. Me and my friend Majed, we always laughed at that. Like, he comes in talking shit on that horse that's breathing fire, and then 2 seconds later, he's screaming like a little bitch. And then he didn't really do anything in The Dark Knight or Dark Knight Rises either, so it's like, what the fuck is the point of you being here, Scarecrow? And, like, even, like, I think of that awesome Sega Genesis Batman and Robin game that I talked about before. That has, like, Joker, Harley Quinn, Two-Face. Mad Hatter actually gets some love. You don't see very much Mad Hatter around. And then also Mr. Freeze. Okay, so yeah, this is interesting right here, in which this shows Scarecrow fucking up basically the guy who's interviewing him. See, like, I just feel that Scarecrow, in general, has a lot of potential that they've never really reached. Hopefully, it seems like he has a pretty large role in Arkham Knight, so I'm really hoping that they don't fuck it up. But at the same time, I also hope they don't detract from the namesake of the goddamn game. It's called Arkham Knight, so I hope that they don't, you know, focus too much on any other villains besides him. Although Joker's not around anymore, so we'll see. Alright, see, this is interesting. So, Hugo Strange, you can get this little file right here. It's a riddle. Now, Hugo Strange is basically one of the major villains in the sequel to this, Arkham City. So it's funny, it's almost like a little bit of a retcon that they do, to where Batman, like, doesn't really have knowledge of Hugo Strange anymore. And then here I'm showing, remember earlier in the game we saw this body bag with the toe tag. This was where Ra's al Ghul was, but now Ra's is gone. Once you reach the end of the game, Ra's is not here. I just wanted to show that off quickly. And then, yeah, we're still collecting these all over. See, most of them are Ultra Batclaw and cryptographic sequencers. Recently, the news also broke that Ben Affleck will be directing the Batman solo film after the Batman vs. Superman film, the Wonder Woman film, Justice League film, and Suicide Squad, of course. Batman is going to be getting its own solo movie. I wonder which villain they're going to go with for Batman. I've heard that Jared Leto as the Joker, he doesn't have a huge role in Suicide Squad. I've heard that it's more of a cameo. Same with Ben Affleck's Batman. The two of them, they're kind of just in there like a little bit of a cameo. So I wonder if they would just, you know, go back to the old, you know, awesomeness that is the Joker. Although there are several other villains they could bring up. I mean, Mr. Freeze, starting with the episode in the animated series, I believe it's called A Cold Heart. Starting with that, like, they redefined the character of Mr. Freeze and really made him not only quite a sympathetic villain, but just, like, I don't, really good, like. So it would be curious to see Mr. Freeze in a Batman film, but not done in such a campy way like it was done in Batman and Robin. So that was the real problem with that movie, is how fucking campy it was. I mean, yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger, like, you could say a couple one-liners, that's fine. What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age! But that motherfucker is going the whole damn time. And, like, obviously the bat nipples and all that. But, like, just a super serious Mr. Freeze would be interesting. Like, I would have liked to have seen Christopher Nolan tackle Mr. Freeze, I think. He might have been able to do something really interesting with it. But in order to have done that, he basically would have had to have made a fourth film, because I absolutely fucking love Liam Neeson's Ra's al Ghul. He is fucking fantastic. So good, in fact, that another DC Universe character that they had a show of, The Arrow on the CW, that takes place in the same DC Universe as, like, Batman and everyone else, obviously. So they actually were going to have, they had Ra's al Ghul in an episode. And they talked to Liam Neeson about portraying Ra's al Ghul, and he agreed to do it, but his schedule was just too busy and he couldn't find time because, you know, he's Liam motherfucking Neeson, A-list actor right now. He has so much going on, so he wasn't able to actually do it. And then, obviously, Heath Ledger's Joker in The Dark Knight is, you know, a lot of people consider maybe the greatest movie villain ever. And then Tom Hardy's Bane in The Dark Knight Rises was absolutely outstanding as well. We saw off in the distance there a lot of assholes. That is where the finale of the game takes place. But obviously, I'm going to keep my distance away from there because we're still not quite done here. You know, you see we still got the 25 riddles to go. Most of them in the penitentiary and the medical facility. Got a couple of Joker teeth. Now this is pretty awesome. We pretty much managed to get all the Joker teeth except for, I think, 2 different sets. That really made this a lot easier. Because that's where finding all this shit can get kind of difficult, is if you don't get the Joker teeth. Because the Joker teeth, like, they don't show up on the map, whereas everything else does. So it's not that hard to find it. So just only missing the 2 sets really made this a lot easier. I mentioned him a little while ago, the Mad Hatter. I think I kind of would... I'd like to see some interesting things done with him. I feel like... I don't know if he's got a lot of potential, because, I mean, he is basically, like, an Alice in Wonderland character. But, like, I don't... You know, they could do some interesting stuff. Because he's in that awesome Sega Genesis Batman game. He's in Arkham City, but he's only in Arkham City for a matter of motherfucking seconds. And he's also in Arkham Origins, though. That is true. The Mad Hatter.
This is yet another interview with Edward Nigma. I've yet to make up my mind whether he's a genius or just deluded.
One thing I would also love to see portrayed is... Oh, yeah, Killer Croc. Is the Red Hood. Specifically the Jason Todd version of the Red Hood. That movie that came out in 2010, the Under the Red Hood, was just so fantastic. And I would just love to see maybe if they had like some sort of Batman series, or if they did it in a movie, it would be fucking fantastic. Of the story of Robin getting captured and possibly killed by the Joker, or tortured by him, and then comes back as the Red Hood. Like, that movie was so fantastic. And like you've heard, like a lot of people have guessed that the Arkham Knight in the upcoming game is actually probably him, Jason Todd, Red Hood, the second Robin. That's the first time I saw Arkham Knight. That's what I thought. I think it would be pretty cool if it is him. That would actually be pretty badass the more I think about it. Because the end of that Red Hood movie is just like so emotional. As Jason Todd is basically like on the verge of tears, like he killed me, Batman, and you didn't do anything about it. Like, that would be great to just see in like a movie.
I told him how I will.
So I think if I had to choose for the Ben Affleck solo movie, which villain they would go with, I think I really would like to see Mr. Freeze done in a really like interesting and clever way. Although I should mention that in the Batman vs. Superman, I guess trailer might not be the right word, more like teaser. Oh yeah, here we have the riddle. This is for Firefly. I saw that he's actually going to be an Arkham Knight as well. Yep. Firefly. Damn, I totally just lost my train of thought. Fuck you, Firefly. Damn it, I'm probably talking about whatever. Mr. Freeze needs to be in that Batman. Oh, yeah, okay. The trailer for the Batman vs. Superman, the teaser trailer. In it, there's one scene where Batman is standing. It looks like he's standing, you know, like underneath, like a highway. Oh, real quick, also. So the door to the morgue is locked. Specifically the elevator. So you can't take that elevator down. So what you've got to do is you got to actually take out the vent and just drop down the elevator shaft. And this, I figured I'd show this off since, I mean, you need the Ultra Batclaw to get down there anyway. There's a bunch of interesting things you can find down here. But Batman is standing underneath like a highway overpass in the trailer, the teaser trailer. And on one of the pillars, you can actually see the Riddler's question mark. So like maybe they're teasing the Riddler. I don't know. See, the Riddler is a character. I'm not the biggest fucking fan of the Riddler. I mean, he is just so annoying a lot of the times. He's just... I feel like everyone is kind of sick of the Riddler too, because like look at this bullshit we're going through right now because of this jackass Riddler. Like it's because of his fucking ass that we're sitting here finding all of these dumbass riddles and trophies and all this shenanigans and bullshit. It's like, hey, guess what, Edward Nigma? We don't give a fuck.
Do you give up?
And I don't know. I didn't really like Jim Carrey's Riddler at all. But then again, I hated all that shit in those the 90s Batman movies. Like, everyone was riding Jack Nicholson's dick for his Joker. But, like, I mean, I don't know. Heath Ledger showed us how it's done. Then Danny DeVito's Penguin, like, I mean, Penguin, I guess. Even Catwoman, I wasn't the biggest fan of. I loved Anne Hathaway's Catwoman. She was so fine. Too fine, I would even say, in The Dark Knight Rises. But, oh, you know, no, I don't know how I feel about Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face. That's one that I'm not so sure, because again, the Dark Knight series, which killed it, Christopher Nolan is a fucking beast. Like, Aaron Eckhart was amazing as Harvey Dent. It's actually kind of sad that that guy really hasn't gone on to do anything else, because I know he did have that one movie that was rather popular, Thank You for Smoking, but I believe that came out before The Dark Knight, right? I mean, I know he was Sexy Frankenstein. He was in that new Frankenstein movie that came out recently. But hey, I don't think he's been in a lot else. Yeah, so this is interesting. So this is Harley Quinn's obviously old office here in Arkham Asylum. And we got all the pictures of Mr. J that she laid all that sugar on. Yeah, I had a little trouble scanning this one. Yeah, we got a Harley Quinn, thanks.
No challenge is too great for me.
Yep. So when Riddler's, whenever he, started just randomly talking out of his ass, I put it in here. And oh, this tape is interesting, so I kept this in right here. This appears to be taking place fairly recently.
Not in a good mood. I'm always in rare spirits when I'm about to be released.
Edward, you know you don't come up for parole for another 3 years.
First thing I'll do is have dinner at that Italian place on 19th Street.
Seriously, Edward.
I only hope Joker hasn't completely trashed the city. Oh well, I'm sure I'll find out soon enough.
Wait. Have you been in contact with the Joker? He escaped Arkham weeks ago.
And yet, one hears things.
What things? What have you heard?
Oh, something about a surprise party for Batman. I forget the rest. You know Joker.
Yep, see, that's exactly what's going on right now, the surprise party for Batman.
Lives could be at stake. What did Joker say?
You forget, Doctor. I'm the one who asks the riddles.
Oh, Riddler! Oh, aren't you such a Riddler? And here's Bane's teddy bear right here. Great. I will always give Tom Hardy props for his Bane. So yeah, the penitentiary section is kind of weird with a lot of these riddles because, like, there's just all this electrified shit all over the place. It's like, what the fuck? And then there's the gas room that Harley Quinn, remember she set off those bombs of the Joker toxin or whatever it was.
It must have been Crane. Another one who doesn't deserve to live. Why do
Yeah,
these
there's
people
the
thrive
dude
on
talking
chaos?
shit about
Joker.
Scarecrow. Oh boy, here we go. So motherfucking Calendar Man, they have to fucking mention this bastard every single Arkham game. It's like, yeah, we got a Calendar Man. No one outside of the most dedicated Batman fans know who the fuck Calendar Man is. Calendar Man? Come on now. Batman does have some really dumb villains. But I would say out of all superheroes Batman probably has some of the best, along with, I would say, Spider-Man. That's actually one really big silver lining, well, I'd almost say gold lining, to the Marvel Universe reobtaining Spider-Man, is they get access to his villains. Like, maybe the Avengers fighting, like, Carnage or something could be pretty cool. Although Carnage, as such a crazy, hardened serial killer, would probably be hard to play off on the big screen. But I don't know, the Avengers have had a couple characters die, I suppose.
Victor has been in isolation since the attack.
Yeah,
on the
Mr.
Gotham.
Zah is
As I
awesome.
wait for him to be brought up to me.
He did have his quick cameo in Batman Begins, though. Alright, so we have one of the more annoying riddles in the entire game. You gotta blow this wall, flip a switch, unelectrify shit, turn on a fan. This is just one of the more ridiculous parts. Pull that wall off, Batman. Show us that strength where you can bench press like 1,000 pounds. And it is interesting that in future Arkham games, the cryptographic sequencer actually is used in a different manner. Oh, okay, interesting. Okay, so here we go. We now have found enough of the Riddler bullshit that we were able to trace Riddler's location. So now we can tell the police where to go catch his ass. And then we'll just find the remaining couple, and then the coppers will be able to bring his bitch ass down. And then here's this riddle right here.
That one was impossible to solve. How did you do it?
Really freaking out now. Yeah, see, again, here's another Batman villain. Prometheus. You don't see a whole hell of a lot of him, huh? Prometheus. I don't think I've ever seen him in any Batman form of media outside the comic books. Can any of you guys ever name a time you saw fucking Prometheus doing jack shit? No. Also, I believe this is the final Riddler thing right here. It should be a Chronicle of Arkham, and after that, we are done.
I am the spirit of Amadeus Arkham. Even though Amadeus had long since passed, his spirit lived on, surviving, moving through the walls of his asylum. When it chose me, I felt proud. I was honored to continue his work, to cleanse this city. If you are strong-willed enough to follow my tales, you are strong-minded enough to deduce my identity.
So at this point, we can tell by his voice and his shadow, it's pretty clear who it is. That very last Chronicle of Arkham is not actually a part of the Riddler Challenges, but we are going to be doing that right away. As soon as I exit this screen right here, we're going to take down Riddler, and then we are actually going to go get the final Chronicles of Arkham, and then there also is another, like a secret / Easter egg that we're going to go check out. Also, it is interesting to note here how Robin and Nightwing notice that they are not on here. Oracle is, but no Robin, no Nightwing, no nothing like that. We just get tons of all of the terrible, awful Batman villains that no one gives a fuck about.
You did it?
But yep, here we go. Fuck you, Riddler.
There is no way you could have beaten me. Well, you asked for it, Batman. My final challenge for the whole of Gotham is just seconds away. What? Sirens. The police. You cheated, Batman. You couldn't have outsmarted me. Police, open up! No. Open the door, now! Now! Down on the ground! Down on the ground! No! Tell me, how did you work out where I was? Do you hear me? I, Edward Nigma,
Bye, Riddler. Fuck him. He's a bitch-ass hoe. But finally, so we have all of the Riddler challenges. Obviously, a huge pain in the cock here. But we'll be doing this for all of the Arkham games. And now, let us grab the final Chronicle of Arkham. This is where we left Warden Quincy Sharp. And very clearly, he is the person who's been talking the whole time.
You have done well to decipher my story, and I pray it has helped you on your path. I trust that through my writings, you will do what is right. Please, I implore you, continue my work. This city deserves a savior. Continue my work.
Okay. So that's all of that shit done. There's one last thing that we're gonna go check out now. This is actually a really big-time secret. There is no clue whatsoever as to this, this Easter egg's location, basically. So we're back in the Warden's office, and if you head over to this wall and you place 3 explosive gels right on the center here, you'll see what happens right here. It actually breaks open and we can enter a hidden part of the Warden's office. Now what this is basically a kind of like a little hidden thing showing you about Arkham City. We see that the Warden has some blueprints here, but these we can't really make out. It's nothing. But if we take a look at this wall over here, we can see some blueprints. Arkham approved, Gotham City. Uh-oh. Looks like that's gonna be Arkham City right there, boys. That's going to be the sequel game. And there we got some concept art, I'm sure, for Arkham City. Oh, that will be the next game. Arkham City is actually fucking amazing. But there's nothing else you can do in here. It's just more of to look at the blueprint, really. But okay, so that's everything. Shit. I guess I'll see you fuckers next time where we're going to take down the Joker. Later.